Hi, this is Sherry Richards.
And this is Karen Kalmasian.
And welcome to Inspired Good Fat Life, where we explore what it takes to live a modern, healthy life and so much more.
Oh, that's okay. We're here, and are you going to do that, Dave? You're going to do the...
I'll have him swap it out in post.
Okay. Anyway, that was the wrong theme song, guys. But and we're in a different studio today. Hey, Sherry.
Hey, Karen. How you doing? I know.
Good,
I was looking forward to our song.
I
but
know.
It's,
Let down next time.
Yep.
Kathleen, you'll have to listen to it on the playback.
So how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. It's so much fun being down here in Detroit.
I know.
In this shipping container podcast space.
Yeah, Podcast Detroit in Detroit. I love it. Not just in Northville anymore, right?
Yeah.
Here we are.
What a cool space.
Yeah.
So what's going on?
Well, not only are we in a cool space, but we have a very cool guest today. I'm very excited.
Well, good. So tell me about her, Karen.
All right, I will. Her name is Kathleen London, and she is the owner and operator of London Beauty in Brighton, Michigan. And she is very, very knowledgeable with clean, organic beauty products. She has a really cool vibe, a really cool energy. I certainly have enjoyed meeting her, and she certainly made me feel beautiful and informed about the beauty business. She's active in her community, and she just is a modern businesswoman. I'm really excited to have her here. And so we're going to talk about makeup and business and what it's like to be in a community and modern wellness and how makeup feels good and how being a smart businesswoman and connecting with people makes you feel good. So welcome, Kathleen London.
Hi,
Yay.
welcome. That sounds all like good fat life stuff.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
Right.
Yeah.
So welcome, Kathleen.
Hey.
So where do you want to start?
Yeah. You tell us a little bit about yourself. So we always do a little bit of an introduction, but we feel like it's more interesting when the person tells us. So
Well, yeah, for sure. So thank you for having me. What fun to be here today. So this space is a really cool space for me because I am hoping when they expand the space into a shopping component, because right now it's all just food and very urban and cool, they're expanding and doing a shopping container situation next to it. So the complex, Complex 44.
Complex.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is the shipping container, the shipping company, which is all food. It's like a food hall. And then next to it will be Complex 44, which they are focusing on small businesses, local to Metro Detroit, and having them come in to these cool shipping containers. So I would have a space roughly the size of this to showcase or for some brands, it's as much as they have. For me, it would be like my hero products, a little mini assortment of what I have. And there will be quite a few of the containers around a center area. And then we'll kind of like a little mini mall, but all in containers.
All in containers.
Yeah, very cool.
It is so fun. It feels like we're, I don't know, somewhere exotic or something.
I know. It feels very urban, right?
it
Like
totally
urban.
does. You know what just occurred to me? And I know, Dave, you're going to remember this. Sherry, you might. And I don't think you lived here, Kathleen. But this is like the modern Trapper's Alley.
Yep.
Totally. Remember Trapper's Alley?
Downtown.
Yeah. This is totally the modern.
Well, and the funny thing,
Trapper's
like a
Alley.
lot of people don't even realize how long this has been here. Like we've
You
been
guys
here
have been here forever,
2.5 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I want to say because laughably we actually opened up before the plaza did. It was July.
It was you and Bob in a box.
It was pretty
Paperback.
much. But this is a great little spot. I love the restaurant, and they're finally starting to turn restaurants as restaurants are graduating to getting full blown spaces.
Yep.
And that's kind of what they're doing is they look at it as almost like an incubator.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
it's
I love that.
it's a trial.
Yep.
It's not as expensive as getting a full blown retail frontage or
Right.
going out and building out a restaurant somewhere. And
Correct.
that, like there's a store across the way here too. It's pretty
very
cool. They do good
and
stuff.
for someone like me, like
Yeah.
I looked in Detroit when I was first getting ready to open, but it was so crazy expensive.
Yeah.
And I tried, and I came. So I came from a luxury. So back to that.
Yeah. So how did you
I
start?
came from a luxury retail background in New York City, and I worked for brands like Gucci and Barney's and Max Mara and people like that in managing and running multi-doors. And I'd always said in kind of the back of my head, like, if I could sell $25 lipsticks all my life, I'd be so happy. Like, I love,
that.
beautiful, like, lipsticks and products. And I was always kind of a beauty junkie. And when I managed Barney's, on the main floor part of it was cosmetics in the old days, and I would always be floating through and talking to the makeup artists and goofing around. So anyhow, I ended up in Michigan for a minute because I was recruited to work for the Taubman Company, which owned malls all across the country, Short Hills Mall, Beverly Center, Sarasota, like they all over the country. And I was doing leasing for them and realized fairly quickly that I was not a real estate person. I didn't really love it. I wasn't super passionate about it. But while I was here, I met somebody. So I went back to New York for a little bit, did some more real estate, and built my brand with all my contacts that I had there, the logoing, everything else. And then brought it back here to open. So kind of back to what we were all just talking about. Because I have kind of an urban sensibility, I obviously looked in Detroit. I looked all over in the bigger areas and was getting frustrated because the rents that were being asked were not representative of the traffic or your ability to be able to sell at that level as a new business. As an established business, it would have been okay, but as a new business, it was going to be a challenge. So complete serendipity. I happened to live in Brighton. I hadn't been looking in Brighton, but one day I was like, there's some new construction downtown Brighton. Maybe I'll just see what's going on with that. Well, it was still not finished, but across the street was a big for rent sign in a window, and I called on it. Turned out, small world. I knew people that they knew, and blah blah blah, and there you go. And so all of a sudden, I had a store in Brighton, and it was perfectly sized. Cosmetics doesn't need big space. You need a lot of storage, but you don't need a big retail footprint because everything's tiny, right? So you don't need. It's not like clothing where you need racks and mannequins and things like that. We like to think of ourselves as mirrors for our customers. We are all about kind of reflecting back at people. So we aren't pushing any particular thing. Our focus really, and this was something that I was always grateful I had the opportunity to do. I had a mother who was very tomboyish. Like, she didn't wear makeup. We always were out all summer camp and on the lake and whatever. And I was this anomaly that I liked cosmetics and ruffly panties, and things like that. And so
I love her.
But she let me explore all that on my own terms, in my own way, however I wanted to do that. And it gave me a really good balance in my life between beauty and what it is and who you have to be. I was able to just explore it with kind of no boundaries, and that made me feel really good about myself. And so we really bring that aesthetic here. And then additionally, the trend obviously is towards cleaner skincare. And I say, to a lot of people, the beauty industry is kind of where farm to table was 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So people 10 years ago, when you said farm to table, especially in the Midwest, people are like, huh?
Right.
What do you mean? Why do I care where my stuff came from? Who cares? It's at Meijer or Kroger or wherever. So now all of a sudden people realize, right?
Sounds like my husband.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
All of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, I want to know, where is this, a tomato, right? That's from your backyard or from a farm or the farmer's market tastes so much better than the, generic tomato that you buy at the grocery store. So, that's why that trend has started to happen all over the country, although it started on the coast. The same thing's happening with beauty now. You have these really great brands and things happening on the coast, but in the Midwest, no one was doing that. No, it was an afterthought. You could find it maybe in a Sephora online, a couple of products, maybe not really. It wasn't really talked about in any real way. So a lot of the brands I deal with are independent beauty. I would say 90% of the brands we carry at the store are women driven because it's women's issues, right? They saw a need because they couldn't have it, needed it, wanted it, and created it.
So when you say independent beauty, what does that mean?
It's not owned by the big companies like Estee Lauder, L'Oreal, Unilever, people like that. So these are all independent brands. So like this brand, Ritual de Fille, I brought specifically, this is made by 3 sisters in LA, hand poured in an LA like lab for them. It's a makeup line called Ritual Defeat. And it's very rock and roll, really cool, very global citizen kind of stuff. And Le Prunier is another one, like 3 sisters, grew up on a organic plum farm, realized that plums, just like grapeseed oil, had amazing properties for your skin. So they had a farm. They were sitting on it. So they played with it, figured it out, and they produced this. This has been featured on Goop and places like
show
that.
that to Sherry since you brought that up.
Yeah. So that's the one that Karen wants
That
to.
is the one I love. And I also
know.
have this. This is amazing. This does make you feel like a rock star. Can I open it up,
yeah.
Kathy? Yeah. This stuff is, if I can get it open, it's just shimmery, Sherry. And wherever you put it, it just makes it look just a little bit more beautiful.
A little
You
dewy.
can put it on your I mean, I put it everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll get into
we'll
some
get to-
quick makeup
Yeah.
stuff that we like to do at the store. So one of the things that we focus on, obviously, is we don't get hung up on words like organic, natural, EWG certified, leaving bunny, because it's all
Can you tell us, sorry to interrupt, but EOG, what does that stand for?
EWG. I cannot remember what it actually stands for. But it basically is a certification saying that you're clean, that you're not using toxins, not using toxic chemicals. And there are tons of different certs that you can get. The problem is, like, organic takes 5 years or more to get that certification. Just because something's natural also doesn't mean it's good. We were just talking about that.
Right.
Arsenic is natural. It's not really good for you. Essential oils are great, but they're actually caustic to your skin. I can't tell you how many people come in and say, I'm putting vitamin C on my face. I love my vitamin C, but my skin's really irritated and sensitive. So what do you have for sensitive skin? And I'm like, what I have is for you to stop using raw vitamin C from the health food store. Like, cut it out. Because not everything is just meant to go directly on your face. There's a reason there are chemists. There's a reason that people do the homework to figure out what you can put on your skin. So we try and research it, find brands that have been around for a minute, who have taken the time to do the homework and put together products that make sense and are effective, because I am a snob when it comes to that stuff. Like, that's great.
We love snobs.
You know, it's all
Appropriate snobs,
appropriate
snobs,
snobs, yeah.
right?
Unless we're being snobby to us,
Right,
of course.
yeah.
right. But no, like, it's great if it smells great, and like the plum oil, which I'll sample.
Yeah, I can't wait to.
my favorite.
So it smells great. It feels great. But if it doesn't actually do anything, if it's just a sensory thing, that's fine. But like, I don't know, like, I want it to do something. I want to feel like my skin feels better. It looks brighter. It looks hydrated. It looks whatever, whatever it is that it's telling me it's going to do. I want it to actually do that with no fillers and nonsense in it. So this is pressed from plums. Obviously, plums, like a lot of like grapeseed or other wonderful fruits, has fatty acids and antioxidants and
Like an avocado.
omega,
Yeah.
omega 3s,
Yeah.
all those really great things, right? So they have harnessed that. So what that does for your skin is obviously it's going to hydrate it and nourish it, but it's also going to even your skin tone. It's going to create brightness for you. It actually has natural SPF boosters in it. So although it's not an SPF, it's going to help your skin naturally fight the sun.
Kathleen, and just to show I'm listening, would you consider that a carrier oil?
No.
Okay.
So carrier oils are when you look on a bottle and you see, like, the first thing in it is, let's say, a big carrier oil is something like sunflower or coconut
Okay.
or shea or jojoba. These are all things that are carrier oils because they're very gentle on your skin. And you don't want to take a whole bottle of lavender and start dripping it on your skin, like nightmare.
Right.
And a lot of people think, well, I'm using lavender oil, flip the bottle over. You'll see there are carrier oils in there. There are other oils besides the oil you're talking about, because they have to put something in it so that it isn't
It's kind of a
caustic on your skin.
filter. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it
Makes
helps.
sense.
It helps distribute the product, which we'll get into when we talk about this Hayoma, which is really interesting, which is a
CBD, right?
CBD
Yeah.
skincare line that's natural ingredient. And CBD is a big buzzword right now. In
Oh, yeah, our
skincare.
listeners are
Well,
really
and it's
interested.
But it's also a really confusing
It's
word.
very
yeah.
confusing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
the plum oil. You can put a little on the back of your hand and play with it and smell it for sure. There are a lot of things you can do with this. So like,
it's wonderful.
I don't have a ton of makeup on today.
Yeah,
You
I
can
just
mix this
love it.
into your foundation. You can mix it into your conditioner. So like in the afternoons when I start to feel really dry, I rub it, warm it between my fingers, and I'll smell it because it has a wonderful smell.
Does.
And then I'll press
Smells like Christmas.
around wherever I feel dry. So like right now I'm pressing around my orbital bone. I'm coming down my little marionette lines around my mouth because my lips crack. So I'll just press
I put it on my
it
lips as well.
across those lip lines. And then you can see, like, already I look like a little more awake, a
Yeah.
little dewier, a
Yeah.
little, like, and I have makeup on.
Why do I just look like sweaty, like I'm a heroin addict? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I think I put too much on. No.
Well, but it's amazing though that just one little drop. My hands got moisture, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
My
in your
hands
face.
got some love, and my face got some
Yeah.
love. It's like,
Yeah.
You don't need much. And
Just
Yeah,
one
then-
little
because
drop.
it re-shimmered your face. Yeah.
right. And so that is the nice thing about, like,
Isn't that
quality
beautiful?
and
I
nice
love it.
products.
That
I mean,
lasts
feel-
forever,
yeah.
too. Yeah.
So this bottle is great, and the sisters are amazing. They're
oh
the
my God,
Taylor
I love
sisters.
I just
Yeah.
want to jump up and down
I know,
when you
it's
hear about
so nice.
people that are doing what they're so passionate about, and it's so valuable.
Well, what's ironic about
And
this
it comes so little
product
and
is
important.
it's literally just plum oil, and the sisters are really cool. They grew up on a 4th generation organic plum farm. Like they are a certified plum farmer in Sonoma, California, with organic, plums.
Right.
So they had a passion for beauty, and they figured this out, which I think is so cool. But that's how Caudalie started. If you remember the Caudalie line, it was grapeseed extract. The 2 founders of Caudalie, one of them, their parents owned one of the big vineyards in France, and they had both worked for big companies like Shiseido and L'Oreal and and had a big, deep history, and they figured out the grapeseed thing, and then they were like, wait a minute. So now, 15 years later, there's a Caudalie spa on one of the vineyards where you can, bathe in Merlot and blah, blah, blah.
I think we need that
Sign
as a
us
road
up. Yeah.
trip.
Yeah.
Road trip, yeah.
Exactly. So, they're a lovely company. They've been featured on Goop. We love them. This is I brought mostly hero products today to talk about because we literally can't keep this in stock. We are constantly ordering it. People, once they try it, they kind of never go back because I use it all winter long. It saves my skin. I blend it into my foundation. We carry RMS, which is a makeup line by Rosemary Swift. And her stuff has a lot of coconut base to it. Which is this is called her Uncover Up. And you can mix it into her foundation. This is the concealer. It doesn't really have a ton of smell. It goes on really easy.
Uncover Up. That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. And it's a great line because she, on that oil front, coconut was a big thing when she started 10 or more years ago. But the difference is, again, it gets back to that understanding and being more mindful, for lack of a better term. If you just go to Trader Joe's and get organic coconut, right? Okay, so what's the difference between that coconut and the coconut in here, or the coconut in her little jar that's like $20? Well, the difference is it's centrifugally processed. So it's not hot or cold pressed. It's centrifugally processed, which I didn't know the difference until they told me. But basically, instead of the hot and the cold, which it's kind of like steaming things, right? It takes the nutrition out. By doing it in a centrifugal way, you're maintaining the integrity of the vitamins and the minerals in the oil. So it makes the oil purer.
I was going to say
for
it's
lack of
almost like a
better.
reduction of it. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why they've kept this formula for so long, and it does feel different and less oily than like a big jug that you got from, Costco. Even though it says organic and even though it says da-da-da, it's because of how it's processed. It's the same with like a frozen piece of broccoli is not the same as a fresh piece of broccoli. It can be really close.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be exactly the same. So, this is a really nice line. And so like I'll take my plum oil and put it in the foundation and make almost like a tinted moisturizer out of it. So it's a great. This is definitely one of our hero products that we really love, and the packaging is
When you say
Yeah.
hero product, tell us about that.
meaning like so. A lot of brands will have their hero products. As a store, we have what we call like our hero products. They're almost like our MVPs. They're the things like we can't live without.
I've never
Gotcha.
heard that before.
I love that. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
Yeah,
a great
but
concept.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like super multitasking or stuff that we just feel like no matter who you are, no matter where you are in life, like this will work for you. So kind of with this ritual to fee, this is a line that we do really love because I think there's a lot of confusion about highlighter. I think there's a lot of confusion about like effort in your makeup. I think we watch.
I'm so excited
Yeah.
about our makeovers.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But I think we all watch those YouTube videos where you see these major transformations and they look amazing and you think, oh my gosh, look how beautiful that is. But it seems really overwhelming. It's like watching, I don't know, it's like opening Julia Child's cookbook on, the art of French cooking and you open it up and it's like a 3-day recipe, right? You think, I can't make that.
Right.
And I think we look at those YouTube videos and everyone's running around putting like red lipstick under their eyes to counter things or baking under their powder on their face and all these things that really, when you get down to it, are wonderful for photo shoots because they're of a moment, right? They require a lot of lighting. You're trying to create an image. And a lot of those tricks come out of the drag world.
Mm-hmm.
So drag queens kind of developed a lot of these amazing techniques and art, like makeup artists for photo shoots or movies or other things because they were trying to create a look. And it had to last for that moment, but it wasn't really meant to walk down the street in, right? Like
Yeah.
it's not.
Your
It's not
daily go
yeah.
to the store.
I mean, think
get
about
up and
couture, right?
Right.
If you were to go sit at the Chanel fashion show, all that stuff's amazing. But if you actually walk in the boutique on, in Paris or in New York City, you're not going to see that stuff.
Right.
And the little bit of that stuff you'll see is for a very specific client. It's not for your everyday
for a very
shopper.
specific
Yeah.
event.
For a very specific moment in
Right.
time, right?
Right.
So what we like to do is give everyone the sense of that, but without overwhelming them. And that's why we don't get into too deep into the like organic, natural, because especially in the Midwest where we've had very little exposure to it. I said to Karen earlier, why talk to someone about composting if they're not recycling yet?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
you're just going to shut down. You're going to
Plus,
be like,
people are stressed. They don't even know what color lipstick they like, let alone am I got to figure out chemistry and the environment. and-
Exactly.
yeah.
And it's that same, like, if you're not even recycling yet, I'd be foolish to talk to you about, like, now here's how you're going to compost and how to check your and then do the
How do you
like-
feel about bees?
right. Like, maybe I should have, I mean, come on.
Or worms.
Yeah.
Worms. My dad
Let's
has a
just
huge
start. Yeah, let's just start with
Yeah.
recycling. So we do this thing that we like to call, or maybe I like to call. Amelia is my
And she's fantastic.
store. She's fantastic.
Amelia
she's
Bird,
my,
right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's
I
my
love the
store
last name.
manager and kind of my ride or die right hand, and is lovely and half my age. So it's nice because I get that other
Right,
perspective,
right, exactly.
And we have a really great relationship. Her birthday today, by the
I'm
way.
so
Oh,
excited.
happy
yeah.
birthday,
I
Emily.
know, exactly. So we call this like our like, for lack of a better term, like your stoplight makeup or your stop sign makeup. You could do it like on your way with your kids screaming in the back.
Not
at the
that we're
stoplight.
condoning.
Not that we're
doing your
condoning
makeup in the car.
park. But we all get to the parking lot someplace and we're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I gotta look better, right? Or
Yeah.
you're going into
Every-
a meeting
every-
and
yeah.
you feel like,
I've had some ugly moments in the Kroger parking lot. let me just
yeah,
tell
and
ya.
you just think, geez, I just need to look a little bit better. So a lot of the brands, and I brought
Yeah.
Ritual
I
because
guess
it's
I can relate.
I know. We
Dave,
all
you can
do.
relate. Dave,
Yeah,
that happens all the
he-
time.
he
Or the
relates.
Febreze.
Oh, it's absolutely. It happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
Or-
all the time.
Only if I'm on my way to New Wave Night at Smalls.
Yeah,
That's-
exactly. So yeah, men don't have to deal with this nearly as much, but I feel like men are coming into cosmetics, which is pretty funny too. But almost every one of the indie brands we carry in these more clean cosmetic lines, because they've removed the toxic chemicals like lead and petrochemicals and things like that, it means you can go anywhere in your face. You're not limited to where it goes. You don't have to worry about it getting into your eyes. You don't have to worry about it getting in your lips, whatever.
Yeah.
So they all do these things called multi-use, multi-stick. Like Ilia Beauty has a multi-stick. These are, they call them Inner Glow, so these can kind of go anywhere. RMS Beauty, they have, it's called Lip 2 Cheek, lip, and then the number 2, and then cheek. So you can use it anywhere on your face. So I'm going to do this without a mirror because that's the whole joy of this. So you just pick some color up, you find your cheek, and you just pat it in, and you're going to automatically get that like pop of color. Blend it out as best you can. No mirror, like I said. You can actually sweep this on your eye to give yourself like a quick little shadow. So I'm just patting it on like the apple of my cheek and then blending up a little bit. You don't need the 80 cheek, right? The 80s cheek, which
I
is
don't
that
know.
like
I think Dave does that new wave night.
Yeah, the new wave night.
Don't judge.
Don't judge. We love the 80s.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yes.
So you just tap it in. So already you can see
Yes. Yeah.
the difference in
Yeah.
my and then you
But
would
it doesn't
take-
look like makeup.
no.
No, it's
So then I would take a little bit, sweep it across my lips. Like I'm putting on lip balm, fuzz it out, and all of a sudden,
you're,
like
you
you're
got
just
half a
whole
look.
face brightens up.
right.
Yeah.
And I did it only on half,
Yeah.
obviously, because the other thing I was going to show you is, so highlighter is this whole thing. So back to that whole like baking, that whole glitter cut crease YouTube star stuff, which is really fun to play with, and we do it and we love it. And for clients who want like a super glam look, we can do that, and lashes and everything else. But for your everyday, doing that kind of highlighter and doing that kind of a look is a bit much. But highlighter can play a really nice role in your life. So there are a couple of different ones that I like. Again, I grabbed Ritual Defeat because they have this one called Ice Bow, which you can see is kind of almost like a neutral, glowy,
Champagne.
champagne
Yeah.
color. And then again, you just pick up a little of the color, right? And I'm going to tap it on my cheekbone.
Okay.
And again, as you get older, when you start dealing with powders, they can drift up into your crinkles. You don't want to highlight your
I
crinkles.
like that crinkles.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not
Yeah.
wrinkles. It's
Crinkles.
crinkles.
Just little crinkles.
Yeah.
And you don't need to highlight your crinkles, so you keep it right on that cheekbone and pull it up. And all of a sudden,
Oh, you got a little
again,
contour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Huh.
So now I have bright, I have color, and I look ready to go. I could sweep this again, like across my eyelid if I wanted to brighten my eye. And it won't do anything crazy. It'll just, or I could pop a little like, I'm going to do this without looking, in the like, on my waterline or water, whatever that is, tear duct.
Yeah.
And that creates just
Yeah.
a little bit of brightness. Like super easy.
Yeah.
You could, I'm doing this without a mirror.
Yeah.
Right.
And it looks just bright and finished, and you can see from the one side of my face to the other, like all of a
Can you turn-
sudden.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. More made up.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look made up.
Right.
Right.
It's kind of the no makeup
Right.
kind of situation. And then you can build on that with anything that you do. But what's nice about these is they're so easy to just pop on without thinking that you could literally
Yeah.
do it.
So this
in the
is the
Kroger
look
parking
that
lot.
most girls want when they wake up in the morning
Yep.
and want their boyfriend or husband to roll over and look at them and go, "Oh, she wakes up like that.
yeah,
this is
yeah,
the
yeah,
look.
this is the
the
look."
look." Yeah.
And the thing is, for most of our lives right now, think about it. Moms are struggling at home to do a Zoom call and teach their kids
Right.
and maintain law and order and all the other things. So, you know, it's a win some days to just get your mascara on. And so
Yeah.
this is a quick and easy way with like even just one or two products. Like my ride or dies are concealer and mascara and a multi-stick. If I can get color on my cheeks and lips, mascara and a little concealer to cover up, you know, I don't know, the wine I drank last night or the lack of sleep I got, then it's a win for me. So we really let women define what their beauty is going to be that day. And if they want a glitter cut crease, great, we can do that too. But it's so fun to realize that makeup doesn't have to be like a bad word. And I think a lot of women, as they get older or whatever, they're either taking it on or not wearing any because they're like, I don't know what to do. And we're all looking at those YouTube videos that seem completely overwhelming, and that's not really real world stuff.
Yeah. That's why I like your store so much and your vibe, because you do it's very similar to A Good Fat Life. We try to make people be the best them, not here's what you need to look like this tutorial or look like this social influencer, but be the best you. Yeah, what does that look like?
And
How
I
does
mean,
that show
it's
up for
same
you?
with food. And like I said, I always bring it back to that farm to table thing, like and eating, and we're all much more keenly aware of our environment these days, like what we're ingesting, what we're our interface in our environmental world, right? Whether we're recycling or not recycling or eating farm to table or eating a Twinkie, whatever it is that you're doing, I think we're all more keenly aware of those choices. And it does get overwhelming, like if you follow some of these brands, whether it's food or health or whatever, you just think, ugh, I can't do that. I can't make these beautiful. There's a brand I follow I'm obsessed with called Sakara Life out of LA. And their food is stunningly gorgeous. Like you can get it if you live in LA, you can have it like hand delivered to your house. Everything's beautiful, and I think it's vegan, and I don't know, it's stunning. But I'm like, I can't do that. Even if you sent me that cookbook, like I'm not gonna do that.
Right.
So it's so nice to know that you have choices, right? And ways to do it when people break it down for you in an easy way.
Right. Right.
Makes it less overwhelming.
Yeah, and that's really, I think that's the essence that we would say with Good Fat Life is to have those systems, processes, things that we can do that bring out our best self, like Karen said. They are good to the environment. They're sustainable.
Purposeful.
And we just feel good about it.
Right. And I think that's a really important factor today is finding ways like for self-care and taking care of yourself. And sometimes it means eating the Twinkie. Like I get that.
But that's okay because as long as it's intentional.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm going to eat this Twinkie
It's
because
gonna be the best dang Twinkie I've
exactly.
ever had.
But I'm not going to
Exactly.
eat Twinkies every day.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you probably after you eat it will realize it
I
wasn't what you
doesn't
thought.
remember what
It
it
wasn't
was.
like when I was 6.
Yeah,
Right?
when you said Twinkie to farm, I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be great if there was a Twinkie farm? I want to go there.
I
Dave,
wanna
are you
live
in?
on
Are you
a
going to the
Twinkie
Twinkie farm with
farm.
me?
Seriously, let's live on the Twinkie
Yeah.
farm. But yeah, I think so that's how we become people's mirrors. We really try.
I love that.
To be a mirror for people, and like lack of judgment, like wherever they are in this process of discovering themselves, is fine by us. Like we don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, we just love playing with skincare and makeup, and I am constantly exploring new. I think I have like 3-4 new skincare lines that I'm playing with at home and falling in and out of love with in various ways. So it's always hard for me when people say like, "What are you using?" I'm like, "Well, this week," because I'm trying to find the best new things to bring forward for everyone to experience, which is how we got to Heoma. So I'll do that in 2 seconds. But I was going to round this little makeup talk out with a couple of other hero products that we have. So Ilia Beauty, which I mentioned before, I'm picking hair off myself because, hair. Ilia Beauty is another line. They've gotten a ton of press lately. And one of the big things they've gotten press for, two of the big things are the 2 things I brought today, which is their mascara, which comes off with water. It is clean, so that means no coal tar, no petrochemicals, things like that. It gives you nice black lashes. It's what I have on today, so it gives you a nice eyelash. The trick in this is in the brush, which is super cool.
Oh,
so
yeah, I
this
think you've shown me.
brush, let me see if I can line it up. So if you look, can you see it's curved?
Yeah.
And then it's a comb.
Yeah.
So the curved and the comb. So you take the curved end and you brush that on your lashes, and then you flip it over. You take the comb and you pull your lashes out, so you don't
Get those
that-
spider leg eyes.
And this
Yeah.
clumpy thing.
Yeah.
this clump.
Oh,
and-
I need
yeah.
that. I need that.
And
in my
it's
life,
really
for sure.
great.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's under $30 for the mascara. It's nice and black,
Mhm.
and it has, like I said, no real bad chemicals in it, which I really love.
Isn't that crazy when you say the chemicals? And I'm thinking, my God, we put that stuff near our eyes and don't even give like a second thought to it. And whose idea was that in the first place? Like, let's try this.
Cleopatra's.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, some drag
Well,
queen in Harlem.
It's
No, I'm
it's a
kidding.
dirty secret in the
Yeah.
industry, the stuff that goes into your cosmetics. Like it is a really well-known, they call it a dirty secret. It's not really a secret anymore. People realize that there's stuff in your makeup that really should never be in your makeup.
Very unsanitary,
A
especially
lot
in
of
counterfeits.
lipsticks
Yeah.
had lead in them, lead.
Yeah.
So they were removed from the shelves because of lead. So a lot of times, like if you go to Meijer or Kroger,
It's just like eating paint chips.
yeah,
Very similar.
if they're
Gosh.
removing like whatever stuff, you'll see bags that are sitting out saying not just damaged but toxic, and they're
That's not
dumping
good.
makeup into those bags that's being removed from the shelves because now like they're removing it for a toxic or carcinogenic reason.
Wow.
So speaking of that, like red lipstick is in our logo. London Beauty has red lipstick, and so I
I
brought
love red
one
Me
of
too.
our.
Nothing
There-
more. Yeah.
but I've never
Change
been able
life
to-
changing than
I've
left.
never
that-
been able to get it the right shade or to be able to do it easily.
So there are a couple of things with red lipstick that are kind of funny, and I brought some sticks
Well,
too.
either
but-
like more of a true red or a burgundy red. Is that true?
well, I think it depends on your undertone, but a true red pretty much works on everyone. One
Okay.
of our favorite kind of universal reds is this one called Written
Ooh,
in
That's
Blood
beautiful and
by
deep.
Ritual Defee. But it's
beautiful.
not as crazy as you think. I'm swiping it right now.
It's a little bit wine color.
Yeah,
That's
it's
gorgeous.
beautiful.
So it's a
Mhm.
really just true,
Gorgeous.
like blood red.
Mm-hmm.
This almost works on everybody's skin tone.
Huh.
But one
Because
of
that's kind of in between, right?
the right, it's
like
not
a true
too
red.
fire engine
Yeah.
red. It's not too burgundy. It's just like a
Perfect
I
blend.
don't know,
It's
like
gorgeous.
I don't
Yeah.
know. It feels very like I don't know, like romance novel red.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing I like to do is you can put it on normal, like you know, the edges. I don't know if everybody knows this, but the edges of your lipstick are meant to act as lip liner. That's why they come to a point.
Oh.
So all those points and those edges you can use as actual liner. So when people do it like between their lips like that, you're actually ruining your ability to create like a
A line.
line with
Oh,
your lipstick.
okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, are you going to show
Good
us how
to know.
Yeah.
Well, I don't really have a mirror,
Oh,
but
okay.
I was going to say the thing I like to do with my lipsticks these days, because I never had like full lips. I have total like, I don't know, like Irish white girl lips, right? They're nicely shaped, but not like big. They're kind of smallish.
Yeah.
I put it on like lip balm, and then I get the red tint.
Oh wow.
With a little more wear time too, so it acts almost like a stain. There,
Oh,
boom.
Yeah.
wow.
a lot
so
less
Kathleen's
fuss.
putting she just put
Yeah.
some
Lipstick
of
on.
the
Like a lip
blood-
balm, like
yeah.
a stain.
Yeah,
like a
I've got like half an
balm.
eye of highlighter, half a whatever.
but
It's
it's
okay.
beautiful.
But
Yeah.
it like it acts more like a stain that way. It's a lot less fussy. Again, it's that stoplight makeup kind of thing. Like you can slam this on and
yeah, it took
and
you like
still
10
feel-
seconds.
right,
Mhm.
but still feel glammy. And then when you want to do a glammy look, you put it on and then you blot it down and put it on again and blot it down so that it has that staying power. But the pigments on these are so lovely and so easy to use that you got like really easy red lipstick look without feeling
Like
Yeah.
your mother's lipstick.
like your
Yeah.
mother's.
Yeah.
Or like you belong in a Fellini
Yeah.
film.
And
I
yours
don't
looks so
know.
good. I feel like if I did my lipstick and my makeup, I would look like I did it. Like, oh my God, Karen looks like she just did her makeup at a stoplight. That's pretty much what I look like. Even when I try my hardest, I have no technical skills. How can people like me, where do I start? Because I am really,
But that's
Um,
the beauty of the stuff you saw. I did it without
Yeah.
a mirror. Like,
Yeah.
this is not complex at all. I literally did
Right,
it without
yeah.
a mirror. I was just looking because I wanted to see if I was even, basically.
so I think I'll practice really hard with a mirror doing what you just did so easily. And hopefully
Without
I'll
one.
look just as beautiful.
It's
just
you
as
can't
flawless.
goof up.
Yeah.
You really can't.
I love though also that the mascara is waterproof.
Yeah.
Well, it's
And
not
then-
waterproof.
I mean-
it'll come off with water.
I mean, it
That's
comes
cool,
off.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
thanks
Yeah.
for that distinction, but it comes off with water.
Yeah.
because
it does. And that makes it nice because also, I don't know, like as I've gotten older, my eyelashes have gotten, you can play with that
Okay,
red
thank
lipstick
you.
if you'd like. As I've gotten older, along with so many other things that happen, your eyelashes, because you've been wearing mascara for so long, have gotten, mine have always been on the shorter side, but they get thinner.
Mhm.
You know, your hair turnover rate isn't the same. And so my lashes, and I think it's because I was scrubbing at them so much.
oh, yeah,
So I was putting a lot of hard wear and tear.
and plus pulling on your
Yeah.
eye.
So this, I just take off with a oil or a balm or whatever and wash my face and I'm done. It's so easy. I don't have a ton of residue, which I really like. So I guess that's kind of my The only other thing I really brought in the makeup world is this is a tinted moisturizer from Ilia that we, again, like stock on this has been insane all over the country because it got written up and everybody wants it. It's called a skin tint with SPF 40. It's like super skin tint. And because of the SPF 40, people like it. And again, you really put it on with your hands. So I'll put a little on the back of your hands. You can see the texture. Again, a little of this goes so far with so much of this cosmetic. I'm trying to give you
Thank
like
you.
the smallest amount. So at first it goes on a little white because that's the SPF. But
Oh,
once you
okay.
really blend it in, all of a sudden it just bonds with your skin and it looks like you have nothing on. And it feels really light. It's not tacky like traditional sunscreen. It blends
Oh,
out
it's
and it gives you
beautiful.
this like nice little veil of color without feeling like you have foundation on.
Oh yeah, it totally does. Like
Isn't that
Yeah,
nice?
that's beautiful. I can see. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that in one sweep, you've got your SPF on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I always forget about it.
Of
Yeah.
course, we all do, and it's it's natural SPF, so it's a zinc based.
And that's better.
SPF.
Yeah.
So because I'm sure you
Wow.
guys have talked about this on your program about the whole idea of SPF and our environment. So
No,
Actually,
we
we
haven't,
haven't.
but that is. I'm
Oh.
glad you
That's
brought
a
that up.
great-
It's
yeah.
a great point.
right, we should. I mean, that should be like a whole nother segment. But in the short, Australia and the Great Barrier Reef is about to lose its status because it's dying.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Australia was one of the first countries to go to, and California now and Florida, that you can't wear traditional sunscreen in the water because the sunscreen, the titanium dioxides and all that, were killing the reefs because it leaches
my
down
gosh.
and then it sunscreens the organisms and then they can't photosynthesize.
Wow.
Oh my
Gosh.
gosh. That's
So
That's heavy.
it
That's
is heavy.
Yeah.
So again, that's like a whole other episode.
Yeah.
top. Yeah.
We carry Kula as a sunscreen line, and they are certified to go to places like Australia, California, southern Florida, because it is safe. And they have a mineral-based one and a plant-based one, and you can kind of choose which one you like better. But it is increasingly becoming a concern because it's not just about one person floating around in their
Right.
sunscreen.
Right.
It's about all the people over all the time floating around, and then it drifts. It's water, right? All that stuff drifts around, and it's obviously if it's an oil or something, it's going to attach to whatever it can
Wow.
attach to. It's not going to just stay on the surface of the water, just like it attaches to. Oil slicks attached to the geese or the
Right.
fish or the whatever. Same concept with all the sunscreen that's floating around and
Oh my gosh,
and
that's
global warming
heartbreaking.
Yeah,
and all the
Yeah,
other
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Like I'm
right.
not saying that's
Yeah.
the only
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
And certainly I am no expert. I just know from the companies that we deal with why it is imperative for them to use a more natural sunscreen because, well, like Ilia Beauty is a California-based company, so they're of course going to be keenly aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
And we deal with companies that are global citizens. And looking at things, I was saying to Karen, like some of these brands have plastic packaging. So people think, well, why aren't they using glass? Why aren't they using something recyclable? Well, it's interesting because from a sustainability standpoint, if you're shipping all over the world, your carbon footprint is smaller when you ship plastic because it's lighter. So the incremental benefit of being able to recycle glass, if someone actually recycles it properly, is offset by the fact you have to. It's so heavy to ship,
Yeah.
and it can get
Yeah.
broken in shipping,
Yeah.
and then you have to have extra packaging to protect it and bubble wrap it and everything else. So so these brands that we deal with, like I said, we don't get too heavy as much as we're trying to pick brands that are trying to be conscious, trying to be thoughtful, trying to make choices that make sense for their consumers and for their view of the world.
Right.
And that's
Yeah.
what
We should
they
have
do.
some Lolo body care and
Yeah.
or do you ever
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
introduce you.
I gave her one of the soaps. This is so great because we always love to support small businesses,
Mhm.
and people like you are so knowledgeable and have done the homework. You're teaching us a lot here today, and it's
Yeah.
so important. If you can't do the research and you can't put the time in, seek somebody who can, right?
Yeah.
That's why you're so great, and that's why you're so important in your work that you're doing, because it's not just about makeup.
And I'm learning too. I mean, every day I'm learning a little bit more. I deal with a brand and I get their vibe. Like we're talking to a brand in Japan, and it's a really cool brand. And, what they're doing is like super interesting. And everybody's coming at this with a kind of unique perspective. And like I said, I get a little snobby. I want beautiful packaging. I want performance. I want it to feel good. I want it to have like a sensory experience too. So I want all those things. I don't want it to just look like, I don't know.
You don't want to
Yeah.
just be like, oh, this
Yeah.
is good for you
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
These are things that take space up in your life, your time, your energy. You want it to be beautiful in your space, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I love you. I think that that's what Good Fat Life's about, and that's why I think it's so great that you're here today. And tell us about your website, because if people want to get these beautiful, lovely things, where can they go? Tell us about the new website launch.
We rebranded. Well, didn't rebrand. I guess redesigned is the right word. Our website, because it was feeling a little clunky. I mean, ironically, websites have to get redesigned like every 3 to 4 years, which is cuckoo nuts.
Yeah.
Considering how much you spend on them, but technology, it's moving fast.
It
Yeah.
is.
And so our website was appropriate for. We hadn't even opened a store yet, so it was really the harbinger before the store. And now the store is open, so we came at it with a lot more of you guys, right? Of like our world, the customers that we had, the feedback we'd gotten, the vibe of the store. Because obviously when you open, you're opening kind of in a vacuum, in a bubble. I mean, I'm sure it's probably like what you guys are doing. When you are writing something or putting something out there, it kind of happens in a bubble. But then the more you do it, the more you get feedback, the more you tweak and twist and figure out like who your audience is and who's coming to you and where you sit in that bubble. So that's how we've kind of found our way, and we redesigned with that in mind. And it's cleaner, it's fresher, it has a lot more functionality. It has a lot more flexibility. We can build on it more easily. It's a little more intuitive, I think, for people. So if you go to londonbeautyonline.com, the online is the last little part. We pop right up, and even London Beauty, if you're in this area, if you type in London Beauty. And we have a web, and we have Instagram and Facebook, mostly Instagram, because makeup kind of, I don't know.
Instagram's perfect
Yeah.
for it.
Instagram
Yeah, it's kind of
kinda
quick.
works,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it's perfect.
Because
Yeah.
it's all very visual, and people, when they're looking at
Yep.
makeup and those kinds of things and beauty, are on Instagram. So Instagram's stronger for us than Facebook. But we're also on Instagram as London Beauty Online, and we're always trying to introduce new, fresh, fun things, and keep it authentic. We don't edit our Instagram. Like we don't put, when you get your makeup done, Karen, we don't put a big filter on you.
Yeah.
We're really letting you be you.
Right.
We don't want it to be face tuned and everything else.
Yeah,
We want
That's good to
people
know,
see
because I
them.
faced
That would be
it. Yeah,
incongruent,
that's good to-
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
totally
yeah,
did
yeah.
that though.
So, Karen.
I know, but we
Come
want
on.
people
Yeah.
to
Right.
feel beautiful in their own skin, and they're, the tipping point on age and what age is, and I mean, I work with someone who, has like not even the twinkle of a wrinkle coming. She's, like perfect skin, and when she first started working for me and was a makeup artist, I had her do my makeup a ton. Because what you can do around eyes and on a face that has no wrinkles and nary a blemish is very different than something you're going to do on someone who's 35 and up. It's completely different. And so she learned a lot doing that, and we laugh about it now because, she now is doing makeup on mostly women who are old enough to be, her mother.
Probably, yeah.
And they love it because she's so talented and she does such a great job. But
She
it's
is, yeah.
because she adapted and recognized so quickly, like, oh, I need to let your skin shine. I need to let you be you. I'm not trying to cover up your age. I'm trying to highlight your beauty, who you
Oh,
are.
I love
Yeah.
that, right?
Yeah,
and that's really
what
where
did you
we
say?
come
Let your
from.
skin shine. That is beautiful. Yeah, you do come from there, and it
Yeah.
totally shows in everything you guys do. Your staff, the environment, your products.
Yeah, we really try. And I really try also to not
killing
make
it,
it
girl.
about me, because I would never want a brand that was too attached to
A person.
personality, right? We want it to be
That's a good thought. Mhm.
anybody who walks in and deals with anyone in the store is going to get the same experience. Now, obviously, we all have those days where you're a little off or something's a little crazy, and you can't be perfect every day. But we do really try to make it, no matter who's in the store, no matter what's going on, that you'll get that same experience, and it's not directly attached to me, which is why I don't show up on Instagram very often. I try not to make it like about me.
I totally understand that, because with the Good Fat Life, I
Yeah.
don't like to write. I don't want to write articles because it's not about me.
Yeah.
It's about the people in the world that are doing the cool stuff with the people in the world that are looking for the cool stuff, right? And
Exactly.
so I get to be
Facilitate.
that facilitator,
Yeah.
and hold
Yeah.
that space.
Yeah, we like
Yeah.
to think of it like a hummingbird or a bumblebee, like
Yeah.
help cross-pollinating, helping people
Yeah.
show their stuff.
See,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
like, so the blog posts that I do, I don't do very often, but I have a whole blog section on the website, and a lot of it is debunking, or like, I was a skeptic about this, and so like my next one's going to be about this CBD stuff. I was the biggest skeptic on CBD in skincare because I thought, oh man, like it's just
You can get it
another
at Family
thing.
Dollar, right?
Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
And it was all super ugly. No offense
Yeah.
to the CBD out there, sorry guys. But so much of it felt like either dude,
Yeah.
or it didn't feel like it had that like luxurious experiential, or it wasn't clean at
It felt like you could
all.
get that and rent the
Yeah.
newest copy of Rocky 2, right?
Yeah, or like it
Yeah.
was like Vaseline
Yeah.
and then some CBD in it, and it didn't feel sustainable or experiential or effective. And so I was a big skeptic for a long time, and so a lot of my blogs come from that place. Like I'll pick up something and be like, psh, whatever, and then all of a sudden, like I'll find something and I'll be like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm a convert, and I know, Karen, you got a piece of this line. but
Yeah.
this line is out of, I think it's Texas. Don't kill me. But Hayoma is a plant that has like a very historic kind of mystical history, and they don't really know what the Hayoma plant was, but cannabis and hemp are most closely associated with this Hayoma plant, which is kind of their ethos. And then they also plant a tree for any product purchase. So when I buy from them, they plant trees, which I think is also
Oh,
very
that's
cool.
awesome. Yeah.
So everything has CBD in it to some degree. Nothing gets really above 100 milligrams for the jar, so it's not heavy CBD. So the funny thing about CBD and skincare, like I said, it felt really fad-ish. But what I realized is CBD is great because it's anti-inflammatory, right? We know that about like tinctures and things like that. So what they realized was on skin, it had that same anti-inflammatory calming effect. So for people who have challenged skin, meaning like
rosacea or
acne,
something?
rosacea, psoriasis, eczema, things like this was a calming ingredient. So everyone puts their CBD in different ways, the nano particle ways. I don't know. I haven't gotten super deep into
Yeah, the
that.
cannabinoids and all that stuff.
Yeah.
We're learning that, right?
Yes,
Kelly?
all the
right?
cannabis,
Sherry
like,
and the Good Fat Life.
and I say
Yeah.
it always the wrong way. But it's a very cool from a just a super baseline level, in the same way that you're looking at your ingredients like for omegas and fatty acids and all that stuff. The cannabis oil is helping with inflammation. So like the day cream, which I don't have with me here today, has malachite in it as well. So
Wow,
it's
that's a
slightly
great
green.
property. Yeah.
So if you have red tones to your skin and you put this green day cream on, it also has algae and the cannabis oil and the,
Sounds
really
wonderful.
great stuff. When you put it on your skin, it actually is going to offset any redness by calming your skin, but also the slight green tone will help offset redness. So I brought some of it. Like my favorite product that they do, this is my jar, is this cleansing balm, which I'll put on your hands. It's really cool. First of all, it looks like honey. So for those who can't see this, that's the crazy thing. This
Yeah.
literally looks
Kind of like a
like
honey goop. Yeah.
honey.
Oh,
Oh wow.
And it has sweet almond oil as the oil, and you use it on dry skin, which I also think is
Interesting.
really cool.
I love that.
And then it goes kind of liquefies as you fiddle with it and rub it and massage it. So again, it gets into
Oh, it
that.
feels
smells
amazing.
Isn't that amazing? So it gets
Wow.
into that sensory thing where you you rub it
That's
in.
fantastic.
Then you take a hot washcloth, well, not hot, a warm washcloth, and then just sweep it over your face, and it removes all your
Wow.
dirt and gunk and makeup.
I'm just
Okay.
happy to have it on my hands.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Oh,
lovely?
Kathleen,
Wow.
this is
Isn't that lovely?
it's lovely. And I think, we're at our time, out of
Yeah.
time. This
Yeah,
has
we've gone
so
forever.
fast. I think we need to do a
There.
follow up.
And then
a
you
follow
can-
up, and then also
We need to do an
Wait, yeah.
event.
What do
We
I do
do
this?
need to do a.
We need
just
to do
wipe.
an-
That's to help get it
Yeah.
off. I'm just giving
Oh,
you some toner.
we need to
and-
do
yeah.
an event.
Definitely.
Yeah. So because
A Good
there's
Fat
so
Life.
much here,
And you're
so much
so
here.
fantastic.
I
We
unpacked
love
a
spending
ton
time
of
with
stuff
you.
for
Yeah.
you guys. Sorry.
Oh my gosh!
Always,
no.
yeah.
But it's just, but what I think you've shown, and we've just been kind of spellbounded, and I feel like we've barely scratched the surface
Exactly.
of what's possible. So yeah, so Good Fat Life and
London Beauty.
London
We'll definitely
Beauty
have
will
to
do an
something.
event.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And,
And speaking of events, we want
yes.
to talk about the tea party, right?
Yes, on November 7th, which is the Saturday deliberately after
The
election day.
Yeah, because
we
we'll
are
need
having
Wow,
Yeah.
yeah,
we are
we're all gonna need to do.
we're
that
having a
after that.
tea
Yeah,
party,
one way or the other.
a
Yeah.
tea
Yeah.
party in
Mhm.
Brighton,
Yeah,
and
with Rochelle Wilness, the Derby at Derby Hats.
at Derby Hats. So
Yeah.
we're going to be making
At Grit and Lavender.
At Grit and Lavender, we're going to be
Love
making
that.
these derby hats, having a tea party with some bubbles, and just some good old-fashioned
Gossip,
girl
creating.
camaraderie.
Yeah, boys are
right?
welcome too.
Yes,
and
yes,
drag queens,
yes.
of course.
So,
yeah.
so anyways, and
Yeah.
then in December, we're having the first Saturday in December, also at Grit and Lavender, we're having a vision for 2021.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
we're going to do the same kind of a thing,
Yep.
but we're going to do our vision boards
Yeah.
and have fun
Kathleen,
and have
last-
great food. And
Yep. Last time we did the vision boards, I put a picture. I was a cover girl on it, and 2 days later, she asked me to be on the cover. or we,
And I
yeah,
didn't even know,
yeah, we didn't even
so-
know.
and it
yeah.
was- it
so
was
vision
a
boards do work.
it was a stunning cover. So,
Yeah.
yeah, they keep coming
We
through.
have. I was telling Karen earlier. We have someone who's next door to us who is a facialist who opened, has been around in Brighton for a long time. Simply Skin. She does this thing that's so cool called flower readings. So
Oh,
it's,
those are
maybe we
fun.
can
Oh my
have her.
gosh,
Yeah,
which would
it'd
be
be
so fun, right?
Yeah.
I'm Amelia won't hear this right now. I'm running back to Brighton because it's her birthday today. So I bought her a flower reading, and I'm going to surprise her at the store and send her over there to get her flower reading.
Oh, what
Oh,
a
you're so
what a
sweet.
wonderful,
I know.
Super fun, right?
yeah, super
Yeah.
fun.
You got
and it's,
yeah.
and it just fits with
Yeah.
Good Fat Life.
Yeah.
So
And
thank
Kathleen,
you so much.
thank you so much. Yeah, go
So-
ahead.
of course.
Yeah.
So London Beauty,
Brighton, Michigan.
no,
Brighton,
Br-
Michigan, but London Beauty online.
Online, yes.
right,
Yep.
and
Your
is that-
website. Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
And to find out more about the tea parties or the magazine or scription or any of the things that are going on, go to goodfatlife.com. And you can, and our Facebook is Inspired Good Fat Life. So I think it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
Oh my
much.
gosh, of course. Thank you for inviting me.